Hello, and thanks for joining us for this Q&A with Admirals President Jon Greenberg regarding the 2020-2021 Milwaukee Admirals and American Hockey League season. I'm Aaron Sims. Jon, thank you for your time. Let's get right into it. The decision to opt out of the 2021 season. Explain the rationale.
Well, after months of research, which really came down to the last couple of weeks having to really get into the weeds with some expenses that are coming up upon us from the Wisconsin Center District to be able to play these games, as well as all of the expense that comes from actually just trying to play from a travel perspective, plus all the things that go on in the locker room that are need to be paid for. We basically took all of that into account. In addition, the expense of player testing was certainly a big piece of it as well. We took all those things and went back to Nashville and talked about how this was going to be very difficult for us to move forward without having fans in the stands, that we wouldn't be able to generate any significant revenue to offset what is really a very significant expense, and that we were going to need to opt out of this season without really, receiving any significant financial assistance from them. And they've got a ton of their own expenses to be dealing with. They're going to be playing in an empty building as well in Nashville to start their season. And we agreed that the best course of action would be indeed for us to opt out of the season. So, not having fans is really, it's a really tough thing for us. We rely on having butts in seats, and that's over 60% of our revenue is generated from ticket sales. And the next biggest portion of that comes from corporate sponsorship, and those sponsors want to see butts and seats. So you start to put all these things together, and the formula for being able to try and play becomes very, very difficult. And it was a tough decision. It was a really tough decision, one that certainly made me sad to have to work my way through. A lot of very difficult conversations. But at the end of the day, we made the decision that we needed to opt out, and we immediately turned our focus to the 21-22 season.
So this opt-out, and by the way, thanks to all of the fans who submitted questions on social media, on the Admiral social media sites. How does the opt-out affect, and I think you alluded to it perhaps a little bit, but impact the relationship with Nashville, and the affiliation, will it continue and the rest of its contract and all of that?
Sure. Well, I can tell you that our relationship with Nashville has never been stronger. I think the quote that is in the press release from David Poile certainly speaks to that. We have a very, very positive relationship. They were very empathetic to our situation here. We were empathetic to theirs. We're all on the same page. There's zero issue between Milwaukee and Nashville. The road to Nashville will just take a slight detour this year, but we'll be coming back through Milwaukee starting in October.
The players that were expected to be in Milwaukee this year. So what does that do? There are many questions, as I'm sure you've received personally, many questions about that.
Yeah, players, Nashville's going to be working very hard to get players placed this year. There's a taxi squad that is attached to the NHL roster that will involve four to six players. So essentially those are our best 4 to 6. Those guys are going to be there as a just in case somebody gets hurt and they need to, try and call somebody up. Getting called up this year is going to be a very challenging proposition with the COVID restrictions and things from market to market. So they're going to be carrying extra players, as will all NHL teams. So that handful of guys will be there. Then there will, I'm sure, be a handful of guys who will be back in Florida playing for the Everblades, our ECHL affiliate. There was a handful of guys that started the season there, that have now gone on to training camp. So we will have that group, and then I am sure that they will be partnering with another NHL team, because every team in the NHL is going to have this group of players that is in a taxi squad. And for the teams that are still playing in our league, they got to find a way to fill out these rosters. So there's a lot of discussion of shared rosters between NHL teams to just make up an AHL team where these players have a chance to play. So they'll be playing somewhere, and hopefully all of them have a job. That's our fingers are crossed, but we have no say in that, and we rely on Nashville being able to help these guys get a job.
Further to your point about call-ups being difficult, you see several American Hockey League franchises being moved, specifically the ones owned by their parent club, but being moved to communities closer where the laws and the restrictions are similar, if not equal.
That is true. Binghamton, New York, the team in Binghamton is now affiliated with the Devils. They're going to be playing out of Newark, New Jersey this year. The Providence Bruins, their team is moving to Marlborough, Massachusetts for the season. And then there's two teams out in the Pacific Division. And the San Diego team has moved to Irvine, and the Ontario Reign team has moved to El Segundo, California, specifically so that they can play in smaller buildings where it's allowed, and then also be there to be called up.
Yeah, it is a crazy situation that everybody is going through. A question here about an attendance number overall per game that needed to be hit, or this is strictly based on the laws and mandates of the city of Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, this is purely tied to the city of Milwaukee Health Department regulations, which limit us to 10 fans in the building. The Bucks are going through the same thing, as is Marquette University for their men's basketball that plays at Fiserv Forum. The Brewers, when it's time for them to get going again, hopefully things will ease by the time we get to their season with the vaccine, becoming more prevalent. But right now, the rules are no more than 10 people, and be very, very difficult to operate a business with only 10 people coming through your doors.
Does this decision put the future of the Admirals in jeopardy?
No. I'm just going to leave it at that. No, I will say it will not. Harris Tur is more than committed to playing hockey here in Milwaukee. He is as excited as I am to turn the focus to 21-22, remove the uncertainty of what this season in the AHL is going to look like, and get back to getting ready for business in a full hockey season starting in October.
You have probably answered this, but the question, and a big one, is there's 28 teams that are playing in the American Hockey League. What is the difference between them and Milwaukee, Charlotte, Springfield?
Sure. Well, certainly every market is different. We do have 19 teams in our league who are owned by their NHL partner, and they can afford to take these types of expenses on. In terms of some of the other things, some markets in our league actually can have fans. Texas, Iowa, Cleveland, those places all can have fans. But there will be a lot of franchise sharing going on, in terms of putting players from other teams in here just to be able to fill out these teams. So it's going to be a little bit of a different looking American Hockey League, but every situation is different. So the way I look at this, while there may be 28 teams playing, there are 4 teams that are having to move out of their cities. There are 3 teams that are not playing. We've got 4 teams up in Canada who are only going to be able to play against each other, and that is still not been fully determined because they're waiting for their provinces to fully sign off on doing this. So there's a lot of interesting dynamics being put into play here. So I will say at the end of it, we did want to play. It's not like we were running away from playing. At the end of the day, it's about protecting the future of the organization, and this type of expense to play a very minimal schedule in front of no fans would have been a poor decision on our part.
And on top of that, what we believe is not a playoff season either, right?
No, the playoffs there would be no Calder Cup given out this season. There's some discussion about divisions at the end of it, maybe playing a small series to figure out who won the division. That's still up in the air as well. Every division gets to play their own separate amount of games because they're only playing against each other. So the teams out in the East are going to play at one number. The teams up in Canada will play a different number. The teams in our division will play a different. It's all over the map. So at the end of the day, it's not going to look anything like what people are used to seeing.
No, and to further that, there's a division with 3 teams in the American Hockey League this year, and the presumption is that they'll play each other 12 times. And
I think though that there may be a little bit more expansion of their schedule.
Okay.
I think that division out there in the East, now with the team moving into Newark, I think they may start to play a little bit more of those teams as well. So it's in Cleveland moved into our division,
right.
So it's going to be very different, and we look forward. I look forward to it being over.
Yeah, well, and it'll be interesting to watch because as we're talking now, we're a month away from what is supposed to be the start of the season, and it seems to be an awful lot of questions that still need to be worked out.
Yeah, for sure, and they'll get worked out.
Yes.
But the other thing is we have teams that are not playing in their own buildings. So for example, the team in Chicago is going to be playing out of their practice rink. So and people say, why couldn't you do that?
Right.
And the answer to that is, Chicago, when they built their practice rink last year, put in curved glass. And curved glass is the glass that goes in at the end of each bench, as well as in between the 2 team benches, to help protect players from serious injury. It wasn't too long ago that those areas were basically straight on glass with some level of padding, and how guys were decapitated over time, I have no idea, but it was a safety piece that was put in and is now mandated that it must be in every facility where American Hockey League games are played. Here in our community, the only place that has curved glass is the Panther Arena. So it wasn't like we could go out to the Ozaki Ice Center or the ponds out in Brookfield or something like that and play, because they don't have that piece of equipment that we needed to have.
And this may be one for Nashville rather than you, John, but players with 1-year contracts, will they be free agents or will their contract roll over to next season? Do you know that?
Yeah, I can't say. I don't really know what's going to happen with those types of deals. I think we're going to try and get those players placed someplace so they can have a chance to play. They want to play because they need to prove themselves so they can get another contract in the fall. And Nashville's going to do their best for guys who are signed to get them placed somewhere.
There's been a lot of misinformation online about the ownership structure of the Milwaukee Admirals. And if you wouldn't mind talking about that, there's been a lot on the Facebook post specifically talking about the Brewers owning the Admirals, and that is not the case.
No, that is not the case. The Harris Tour is our primary owner. The Harris does have an investment stake in the Brewers, a minority piece of that, but this is Harris's business. Our minority owners do include Mark Attanasio, who is obviously the Brewers' principal owner, but Mark has a very small piece of this. This is not a Brewers enterprise. This is a private business that operates as the Milwaukee Admirals.
Let's get into a lot of people obviously have questions about ticketing and things like that. And maybe we should stress that individual questions are best addressed to the individual reps, right?
That is the easiest way to do it. Our reps have been very good about communicating with our fans over the last 10 months and are there for you each and every day. So if you have questions specifically about your situation, we encourage you to reach out to your account rep.
Generally speaking, some general ticket questions about if we have a 2021 season ticket plan, does that just roll over to next year?
that's
whether it's vouchers or a full
sure.
season or half season.
Yeah, what we encourage you to do is we have some FAQs on the our frequently asked questions on our website that'll answer a lot of those questions. I know our ticketing group is also reaching out to all of our people with ticket plans to go over what your options are. The plan would be, our preference obviously is that you just roll that over. And if you're paid in full, you actually will get a 10% bonus to your account that you can use for additional tickets next year, or however you'd like to do that related to tickets. So we are providing a great incentive to stay on. If you're a flex plan holder and want to stay on, we'll actually give you some extra vouchers. So, it helps to bring even more fans out, or come out an extra time or two. But all that information is available on MilwaukeeAdmirals.com through our frequently asked questions area, as well as through your ticket reps. And we have been incredibly appreciative of the loyalty of people who have stayed with us all throughout this time, and the messaging that we've gotten back after sending out the announcement yesterday has been overwhelmingly supportive and heartwarming, frankly, that people have really been wonderful about sticking around with us.
Kind of along the same line with tickets, parking passes that were left over from the 1920 season.
Yep, those are good. You can use those next season, and they will expire at the end of next season, but you can certainly use them until then.
At the end of 21,
whenever the season ends of the 21-22 season. So assuming we play till the Calder Cup next season, they'll be good till June.
Credits on the account, can that be used for shirts or things like that, other types of souvenirs?
Yeah, I would encourage people to reach out to their rep, and we've been offering lots of different deals as they relate to merchandise and your leftover credit. And we'd love to be able to help people look the part as an Admirals fan. So we'll certainly help you with that.
And then a question about auction items that were won in the summer or maybe late whenever it may be. Are those available, and how can people get a hold of them?
Yeah, absolutely. They are available, and they're here in our office. Your name is on the item that you won. So we're ready to get that to you. All you have to do is call us. We're here Monday through Friday, 9 until 5, and we will be happy to, tell you where to go to pick up what you have. So just give us a call, say, hey, I want an auction item, and we'll find it for you. Everything has been tagged. If there is any question, we'll have Sarah Schumar, who's our Director of Merchandise and Purchasing, who oversees all of our auctions, get in touch with you.
Have we missed anything? Is there anything that needs to be clarified? I've gone through the questions, I think, and I don't think I have missed anything. There's one about, will the Admirals continue taking 360 payments? I believe.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. Admirals 365 is our basically our subscription plan, where you can pay for your tickets on a monthly basis to make them more economical. So I would encourage people who had money who did not pay in full yet that would like to re-up their tickets for next season. Reach out to your rep and say, I'd like to get on the 365 plan, and they will take the remaining balance and divide that out for you, so you know exactly what it is that you owe. As well as new customers, we're happy to take new season ticket plans. Full and half season tickets are certainly available, and we want to make sure that we give you the most amount of time to pay for those. In the 365 plan, which is again a monthly payment for your tickets starting now, going all the way till the end of December. We want to make sure you guys have the opportunity to do that.
An important question that needs to be asked, since you'll have February off, John, and this is specifically to you, since you'll have February off, do you have time to work the Maryvale press box?
I would love to. I would love to. Whoever was the kind soul who asked me that question, I would love to spend some time in that press box, and maybe I could be the guy who's in charge of opening all those windows like I used to. And I'm lucky that I survived that. So yeah, I'd be happy to do it.
That'd be yeah. It's been a while since you've done spring training. That might
It
might not be
has.
so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to see if I can squeeze that in. Hopefully they'll be able to have fans make it out to that, because
Right.
it's certainly a great time for people to get away from the Wisconsin winter and be back out in the sun. One thing I would add, Aaron, is we're going to certainly be supporting hockey in our community and in our region, as well as our partner in Nashville over the coming months. So we encourage people to pay attention to our website and all the different things that we're going to be getting out there on hockey. Obviously, it's our business, and there is hockey being played, whether it's youth hockey or high school hockey or college hockey, all the way up through the Predators. We'll be celebrating all of that over the coming months, and we encourage people to pay attention to what we're doing and join us if they can.
Is there anything else that we have missed that you can think of off the top of your head? It doesn't look like we, as we rack our brain here on that there
Yeah,
is.
I just want to say thank you. I think that's how I'd like to leave this. Is just people have been great throughout the course of this year. Very challenging year for everyone. This is not solely an Admirals situation going on here. This is something that the whole world has been dealing with, and we've been going through it together. And we look forward to getting back in October and celebrating the return of Admirals hockey. We wish that we were playing, but just know that we made the best decision that we could to make sure that the long-term viability of this organization is strong, and we can't wait to get back at it.
It's a time to be optimistic for what's going to happen in October.
It is, and as I told our staff yesterday, when we made the announcement that we were opting out, that this is the last piece of 2020. 2020 is now officially over, and today is New Year's Day, and all the optimism that comes with that is how we start our business year, getting ready for hockey in October. We are excited, energized, and ready to go. We kept all of our staff here thanks to Harris's incredible generosity. We haven't had to let anybody go. We're here and geared up and fired up and ready to go.
Very good. John, thank you so much for your time. Happy New Year.
You as well, Aaron. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's Admirals President Jon Greenberg. Again, we urge you, if you have any further questions, please contact the Admirals office, contact your ticket rep directly, and they will get back to you. If you don't get a hold of them right away, they will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching.